Now, one of the things that we are seeing coming from the Onvo L60 is that in terms of sales, they've been doing pretty well. The Nio continues ramping up the production capacity for this model, which so far so good, man. I think it is getting there. I mean, reviews for this model or this car, it's just so amazing, because we just read comments made by one of Mercedes senior consultant, who just indicated or test drove the Onvo L60 and gave his thoughts, or what he thought about the car. And boy, I must say, it is something that is just so incredible about what he said about this Onvo L60, which one of the things we said is that it is a car with top-notch technology, and it features some luxury features like 18 speaker sound system, which he said, of course, it's pretty good, it's pretty decent. But with seats, or the seats for the car, of course, he said they are actually comfortable and good, but they don't match the Mercedes, which is expected because this is a mass market car. But all in all, he sees this car really going to give Tesla some serious competition, because the starting point, I mean, he mentioned that it's about 19,000 euros, so with a bus or battery service, with a 26,000 euros with a battery, which is something that is pretty exciting, because then he said Tesla, when comparing price wise, starts around 45,000 euros, which is something that shows you that price wise Onvo L60 is also cheaper than the Tesla Model Y. I mean, he also went and said that most of the EV cars under 30 euros, or under 30,000 euros in Germany, are Dacia, Fiat, Opel Corsa and Citroen. Opel Corsa, you are looking at 29,900 euros, and Citroen is the cheapest with 23,000 euros, which is something that, of course, it shows you that even the cheapest, or some of the cheapest EVs like the Citroen E3 on the list he mentioned, it is not cheaper than the Onvo L60 with bus, because Onvo L60 with bus is about 19,000 euros, which is something that is very interesting, something that is amazing. So yeah, man, this guy just came and said some very bullish things about Onvo L60, or the senior consultant at Mercedes just came and issued or said quite a number of things, or good things, about the Onvo L60. I mean, he also talks about the batteries that you find and their ranges, which I suppose it's something that is very, very interesting. And if a senior consultant at Mercedes is seeing the future that lies within Onvo, I mean, it tells you that it's a brand which is expected to do very well in terms of sales. And those people that are thinking that it might not do that well, they have to think again, because guys or senior guys working at Mercedes are seeing the potential. You and me better agree that, yeah, man, this is a car which is set for greatness, and once it gets to Europe, it's also lights out, because it will bring some serious competition to those EV cars in Europe, right? So I'm happy, I'm excited to know that a senior consultant from Mercedes just issued these positive comments, positive statements when you look into Onvo. I know as investors, we want to see Onvo delivering as many vehicles as possible, but let's face it, ramping up production takes time. I mean, Xiaomi only got to deliver 20,000 deliveries after 7 months. It took Xiaomi to deliver 20,000 on their first EV car, SU7. But Nio is saying, or Onvo president is saying, it will take them 6 months, meaning that in March they will be delivering 20,000. And who knows, by the time they start delivering that 20,000 in March, it could be the start of the massive or more deliveries we are going to see coming from Onvo. I mean, one thing that Nio CEO unveiled or said last week is that the part of the reason why their production, so many of the people think that Nio had a production capacity issue, which he said it was more of a demand issue, because Nio cars are not that cheap, right? I mean, let's face it, $42,000 is the cheapest model, is the cheapest amount you can pay for the cheapest Nio model, which that is the 85 Touring, 85 mid sedan, which shows that these cars are not cheap, and therefore the market for Nio it's not as big as the market for Onvo, which is why with Onvo we can expect great things. I mean, CEO last week indicated that they are going to massively increase production for both Onvo and Firefly to make sure that they cater for the demand that might come from this car. I mean, the CEO said how Onvo is performing has exceeded their expectations. I mean, Onvo is doing exceptionally well. The orders they've been receiving are so good, which is something that is massive. And knowing that they are also planning to deploy or to have 200 stores by the end of this year, that is the main key or the major key to Onvo going to maintain 20,000 deliveries on a month to month. This is what the CEO said, that for them to sell more on Onvo, they need to make sure that they've got quite a number of stores, and 200 can produce, of course, 20,000 or plus 20,000 on a month to month, which is something that is pretty exciting, which is amazing to see. I mean, the conversion rate, I think at Onvo at the moment, it's about 8%. Out of the people that come and view Onvo, 8% of those people are converting that into actual sales, which is massive, which is bullish. And I must tell you, there are quite a number of people that are visiting Onvo stores, and some of you we don't have the actual figures, but I can tell you now that a lot of people are interested into this car. The fact that it is similar to Tesla Model Y but with better technology, with better features, I tell you quite a number of people are going to go to this car, and Tesla Model Y will have to, of course, see their sales they were generating with that model coming or going down, which is something that, of course, we have started seeing because a lot of Chinese consumers have started comparing the two cars, and Onvo it's leading at the moment, which is something that is pretty good and exciting. So yeah, man, tell me what you think about this. I think these comments by the Mercedes-Benz senior consultant, I think it is good. It tells us, it speaks volumes about Onvo, and it tells us that we need to brace ourselves for what's coming, because if Mercedes is able to identify these things and give Onvo these kind of positive comments, I think you and me, we can agree that this car will do very well in terms of sales. So yeah, man, tell me what you think. Blue sky is coming, long term will win. Don't forget to hit that likes button if you enjoyed this video. I'll really appreciate if you can just do so, because on this channel, Nio is a stock that I cover or I talk a lot about on a day to day, because I know that regardless of the share price trading this low, in the long term we shall be rewarded, which is why I continue to remain long and strong onto Nio. Blue sky is coming, long term will win. That's all from me, and God bless you all.